Okay, good. We're recording now. Great. Okay, thank you for joining us. This is the Reverse Mortgage Marketing webinar, Avoid the Expensive Lead Trap. My name is Valerie Van Boeven. For those of you who've never met me or we've never crossed paths before, I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I just want to let you know that in the not too distant future, I've had a long ride with reverse mortgages and working for a bank on the East Coast that provides reverse mortgages. So I do not do that anymore, but certainly in all of my marketing and things that I do, I keep the reverse mortgage market in mind because it's certainly something I completely understand where you all are and where you've been and what the market has done to this part of our service sector. So just keep that in mind as we go along. This is definitely a group of folks here at LTC Expert Publications who understands where you are and where you've been. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And my little clicker will work here. As I said, my name is Valerie Van Boeven. I'm a registered nurse, and my partner is on the line, George Novison. He's also managing partner of LTC Expert Publications. Hi, George. Hope you're doing good out there in Boston in the snow.
Hello.
And he's me. Hi.
Hi, Val.
Hi. How you doing?
Great.
Good. George is going to be around, and what we're going to do is that at the end of the webinar, we are going to take questions. So I want you all to just hang on to those questions, type them into your question box there on the screen. You've got a little box where you can type in questions, and George and I both will be fielding questions. So with that, we're going to keep on going down the agenda. We're going to talk about buying leads, the real experience. What are the options? Networking strategies online and offline. Yellow pages no more. Google business listings before and after. 3 components of local search strategy. 8 steps to build your local search strategy. And what can go wrong if you aren't careful. The most cost-effective strategy for making local search work for you. Our services, next steps, and questions and answers. And it sounds like a lot, but we're going to run through all this stuff pretty quickly. And then, again, questions and answers are all at the end of the program. And I prefer that you go ahead and type them in, and as you think of them, you can type them in so that they're ready and up on the screen when we get done. And that's usually the best part of the webinar is taking people's questions. So hang on with us, and we'll be happy to answer anything we possibly can to help you avoid the expensive lead trap. And this is a great picture. I love this one. And in talking to reverse mortgage professionals all across the country on a fairly regular basis, probably not as often as I used to, but the common theme is this, that buying reverse mortgage leads today is like flushing money down the toilet. And I'm sure that each and every one of you on this call have run across a lead company where you've been able to close a lead or two here and there. But the common theme and the common, and this goes, this isn't just loan officers who aren't good closers. I mean, this is everybody. This is the people closing 5, 6, or 7 reverse mortgages a month. They would agree that the leads that are available out there are not only expensive, but they're not great quality leads. And so having heard that over and over and over again, we came up with what we know to be a solution in the senior service sector, and we hope that this can be a solution for you. And I'm one of those people, I'll be really upfront with you, that I don't wait around for somebody else to provide me with anything. I go out and get it myself. So if you are one of those people, then this is the kind of webinar that you want to pay attention to. I don't rely on leads to get me the business that I have today. The business that I have calls me because we're so very good at what we do, and because we're constantly online and in-person making connections. So that's kind of the gist of some of the things I'm going to talk about today. So what are the options out there? The top reverse mortgage loan officers that I speak to today have 2 very important things in common, 2 very important things. And number 1 is that they are very good at in-person networking. That will never go away. There's never going to be a time when you can stop shaking hands and looking people in the eye. It always has to happen. You have to get out of your office, up off of your chair, and go meet and greet and shake hands and get to know people ad nauseum, basically. I mean, you just really have to know everybody. And so this is one of my, there's a lot of goofy reality shows. One of them is The Housewives of Beverly Hills. And so one of the characters on The Housewives of Beverly Hills, I guess she's not a character, she's a real person, but to me she's a goofy character. Her name is Lisa Vanderpump. Now, whatever. But anyway, and in the beginning of the show, every week she says, in Beverly Hills, it's who you know, and I know everyone. And I say, ew. But the truth of the matter is that you really do need to be that kind of person in this market that gets out there and gets to know tons and tons of people. And from real estate agents to geriatric care managers and home care agencies and assisted living facilities, just for the heck of it. I mean, everybody you can get to know in the senior service market is a good person to know. So that's never going to go away. So you already know this. I don't have to, keep going on and on because I know that you know that that's the number one thing you need to do. Number two, when I talk to reverse mortgage professionals who are knocking the ball out of the park, which seems like an impossible thing to do these days, but believe it or not, there are people who really are doing very well. And the number two thing is that their online presence is impeccable. It is fantastic. And they don't mind spending the money to have their online presence be great because they're so tired of spending money unnecessarily on leads that are never going to convert or that don't even really exist. They're just, whatever. They're horrible. So they're tired of that, so they took control of their own online presence and they made it work for them. In today's world, if you can't be found easily, especially online, you become invisible and you do not exist. You have to be present online. There is no doubt about it. People are searching online, even seniors are searching online to research their options before they make a phone call or inquiry, especially on big ticket items like reverse mortgages, home care. I mean, it's not like going to Starbucks and buying a cup of coffee. I mean, we're talking about life decisions here. So you can absolutely bet that they're going to be searching on the internet for good solutions and good connections. So I'm going to show you some examples throughout this of what a good online presence looks like. And I'm going to start with somebody who is a good friend of mine and who some of you probably know. We did a lot of work for Sue over time. We still do work on her website for her. And this is what it looks like when you type in the words reverse mortgage Baltimore. We're not talking about pay-per-click. I put a line through all of the pay-per-click stuff. Put a line through it. This is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about natural search engine results where 75% of your audience is looking for help and information. For Baltimore, Sue is number one. Sue is number one for the entire Baltimore area. She's also number three. And then her and her partner have also done a good job with another website that they have up. And they are also showing up on the first page down there. And that is not our work, by the way. But since Sue's there, I just wanted to make sure you guys could see that. Having a very good online presence is very important. Who do you think in the Baltimore area is going to get a phone call or a website inquiry about a reverse mortgage from somebody who's searching for information online? Who do you think that is? I guarantee you it's going to be Sue. And look at the first thing listed there next to her name. It's her phone number. If you call that phone number right now, if she's not on this webinar, I think she is, but I'm not sure. If she's not on this webinar, that's her cell phone number. Sorry, Sue. I hope 30,000 people don't call you. But you can get a hold of her if you need to. So that's important. People don't have to try and figure out how to reach Sue Haviland. It's right there. This is the person that's going to get the call. This is a screenshot of Sue's website. We did this probably, it's been more than a year ago, I would imagine. But if you go to AskSueHaviland.com, you can see her website. You can flip through it and see all the content that's there. She has a blog. She has all kinds of things. So Sue does have a website, and it's a very nice one. I love her website. People want to model their stuff after hers all the time. But this is an example of somebody who brands herself and is an expert in her area. Here's another example, and this is actually sort of a micro-site that we've done, but if you look down the side where you see all the Facebook and LinkedIn and all that stuff on the left-hand side, that's not really there. When I did the screenshot, it scrolled down and it just kept repeating itself, so that stuff's not all really there. That would be crazy. But this is another person who brands themselves as a reverse mortgage professional. They are a CRMS, and they have a fantastic online presence. A little further, this is YouTube. Now, I guarantee you that most of you haven't given a second thought to YouTube, and you absolutely must do that. You absolutely should. If you don't have video today, just a frequently asked question video that lasts a minute or less, and a few of those, then you're not having a good online presence. You must have video today in order to make a dent in the online world as far as people picking up the phone and calling you. In this case, this person, this YouTube channel, by the way, is custom designed, and this is actually YouTube, but it's put together with a custom design, and it's he's got 8 of his own videos that he has up there that are educational in nature and teach a different subject. And they're very short, so it's not something that you have to sit through for an hour. They're very short. This is a custom designed Twitter page. And Twitter is also becoming, it's always been important, but it is becoming more and more important every single day. I know people say, well, they've tried Facebook and Twitter. You have to know how to use them correctly. It's not about just putting up a tweet about when you went to Starbucks yesterday. It's about very targeted, very specific Twittering or tweeting or however you want to say it that gets results, gets backlinks to your website, and gives you the online presence that you need. Now look at his Twitter account. That is different from most of the Twitter accounts that you'll see, and that's because this is another custom design. It's not so much about the design, but I do really like the way that this one stands out. This is a Facebook business page, and you can see that his content that's coming from his website is also going into his Facebook business page, and he has some really good stuff out there. So this is an example of having an excellent online presence. Talk about what, in some other ways, what that means, and in regards to the yellow pages. And this is a fake headline, but it's one that I think will definitely happen someday. Google puts the yellow pages out of business. If the yellow pages in print advertising that you've relied on for years are failing, if you find it harder and harder to attract new customers, you're not alone. And your customers haven't disappeared. So why are local businesses all over the country having such a hard time finding customers? And you, as a reverse mortgage loan officer, you are essentially a small business owner. I mean, you may be working for a bank or you may be working for someone else, but you are in charge of your own destiny. So, and making your own bottom line, better and better all the time. So this applies to everybody who is in the business of finding new customers. The people haven't failed you and the economy hasn't failed you. The fact is that technology swept the whole world into a new era, and advertising has failed to keep up. It's like all the fish packed up and moved to another pond, but you're still fishing in the same spot you always have because nobody told you that the fish moved. I like that one. Okay, people use search engines instead of the yellow pages. Your customers are on the internet. They are looking for information. Your adult children of seniors are on the internet. The seniors are on the internet. According to the research company, the Kelsey Group, 28% of all online and mobile searches are looking for local business information. And the last bullet point there that I like is in the next 3 years, almost all cell phones will be smartphones. People use their cell phones like computers anymore. They're sitting in bed looking at their cell phone, searching, seeing how they show up online, looking for other products and services. Everybody's using their cell phones now for online search. So why local search is critical to your success. And this is an example of, look at the very top listing there, Home Care in Topeka, Kansas by Craig Home Care. This is just an example. But notice that you don't just get the name of the business, but you get a lot of other great information too. You get an address, a phone number, And if you click on it, you'll get a map with walking or driving directions. You get reviews, photos, videos, links to their website, and everything you could possibly need to make a decision to choose that business. And of course, what we're talking about is Google Places. And Google Places a few months ago looked like this. And I really just want you to note the setup of this page. The map was on the left. There were a few businesses listed there with those little red upside-down teardrops. But you had a lot of natural search engine results below that were showing up. So this was still natural search engine results, still got you on page 1. This is Google Places today. And if you notice, now this is actually, and I'll show you some reverse mortgage examples here in just a minute, but this is actually San Francisco dentist was typed in. And what you can see is that now if you type in San Francisco dentist on a Google search, almost the entire page is taken up with Google Places. So that means that the natural search engine results that we once relied on so heavily have been shoved down to the very bottom of the page. And there are very few spots left on page 1. So what that means for you, Mr. and Mrs. Loan Officer / pseudo business owner or full-time business owner, whichever one applies to you, you must be present on Google Places. You must have a presence there. And you can have a persona, or you as a loan officer can be present there. It doesn't have to be, a business name necessarily. You can see that for these dentists, it's Cynthia K. Bratasani, DDS, and Markle, George K. Markle, DDS, and so there are people who are actually listed as businesses here too. So it's okay to brand yourself. If nothing else, or you can brand your company, whatever you like. So the question I want to ask you all is this: who's getting more calls? Now you can't see this very well, so I'm going to just blow it up for you. This is the same thing blown up, and this is a search for San Diego reverse mortgages. Of all these companies listed on if you look at the page here with all the stuff on it, the people who are getting the most calls are the people who are showing up. Probably the San Diego reversemortgage.com at the top, of course, is getting some. But these first 4, first 5, first 6, first 7 of these businesses that have the teardrop are the ones getting the phone calls. And if you can see on my screen, the one that lists all RMC, that would be all reverse mortgage something, they are actually using a new Google product called, well, it's a Google tag. It's not necessarily new. It's been around for a few months. But in other words, they have that little pink highlight with a little yellow area. They're the very first business listing under A. It says A at the top. They're paying $25 a month for that little highlight. And the reason that they're doing this and the reason that they are number 1 is because I guarantee you, unless somebody in that organization is extremely internet savvy, I guarantee you that they hired somebody to do this for them. Now, not everybody on here has hired somebody to do this for them, but I guarantee you that anybody in your local area that you see that's knocking the ball out of the park on Google Places, chances are pretty high that they have a service helping them out with this. Because there is so much to this program. It blows your mind once you get into it and you actually see everything that's there. So, and I will take you to a real Google Places page on the inside so you can see what that looks like in just a minute. But every local search strategy needs to do these 3 things. For you to be that person who's getting those phone calls, you have to have a Google Places page. You have to optimize it, enhance it, and monitor it. You have to make sure that it has all the things necessary to get you to number 1. And there is a lot of stuff involved in that. But 8 steps to build your Google local search strategy are this. First of all, you need to check and see if you're already listed or if your company is already listed. And that kind of depends on what your employment arrangement is. Some of you are independent loan officers and some of you are employees of a bank. So you always have to check to see how you're listed. And you have to make a decision. If you're somebody who works out of your home, you have to make a decision if that's going to be the place where you're going to have your business listed. In my case, I've been working out of my home for probably going on 6 or 7 years now, 5 years at least. I don't know, maybe 6. And I list my home address as my business address. That is exactly the truth because my company is a virtual one. And although there are 8 of us, and George is in Boston, Valerie's in St. Louis, and then we have everybody else spread out all over the country who are assisting us with all this stuff. So, you know, our business address essentially is my home office, and that's okay for me. It doesn't make me any difference. People don't necessarily come to my office to see me, although that has happened a couple of times, strangely enough. We actually market nationwide, or we market locally, but I go out to see other people, just like a reverse mortgage loan officer would. Okay, number 2, do some careful keyword research. If you don't, you could be leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table for your competitors to scoop up, and that's the truth of the matter. If you do this yourself and you have not done your keyword research, or you don't know how to do it, or you don't know what words that you should have, just because reverse mortgages is what you sell doesn't mean that you have exactly the right keyword phrase, especially based on location in your mix of your keywords that you're using. You have to be really careful about that because sometimes it would surprise you as to what you really should be keywording your Google Places site for. And if your competition has hired somebody else, they'll leave you in the dust. List your business. It's free to list your business. Just go to the Google Business Center and fill out the form. It's not that hard to do. Just get in there and do it. Claim your business. The hard part is not listing your business. The hard part is getting it to number 1 on the first page of Google. And then you claim your business. This tells Google you're the owner of this business. And if you don't claim your business, absolutely anyone can attempt to claim your business listing, and that can be a nightmare, folks. We have already had clients who have had their listings claimed by someone else or a former business owner, and if you don't get in there and take care of this, chances are somebody will mess around with it. So then you want to optimize your listing, and here's where the hard part starts. You have to double and triple check your website. I'm going to assume that there are 2 kinds of people on this call. There are people who work for a bank who may or may not be allowed to have their own website. It's always it just depends on the policy of the bank. You may or may not be able to do that. For those of you who are independent, you probably can have your own website, and you probably do have your own website. And I hope it's a good one and not one that was built by Cousin It in 1999. But you need to double and triple check your website if you're one of those folks who has one, and any other online directories or websites you might be listed on to be sure information like address and phone number match exactly. Conflicting information can cause Google to penalize your listing. So, and I'll show you this when we go to the live page. If your Google business listing has a certain address on it and phone number, you better make sure that every other place that you're listed has that exact same address and phone number written exactly the same way, or you will be penalized. And most people have no idea about that. You need to enhance your listing. You have to have videos and photo, and reviews are especially important. For any of you out there who are serious reverse mortgage specialists or professionals, and you have been doing this business, you know, as well as I do, that you've got some very happy customers out there. Those people are elated when you sit across from them and you're able to, you know, deliver a check in 72 hours. They are just ecstatic with the results of their reverse mortgage usually. So you need to get those reviews, and you need to get them online. Reviews are important. Since people rely on the opinions of others to help make up their minds, collect and post positive recent reviews often. This has to be done. It is imperative that you get reviews. And the other thing that's imperative on the screen are videos. All of you have pictures, so that's a no-brainer. Videos, video, video, video. If you do not have video in this day and age, you need to get yourself together and get some videos done. There's no reason not to have them. You can pay to have them cheap. Cheap, cheap. And I'm going to show you how cheap in just a minute. Okay, submit your listing to online directories like yellowpages.com, Superpages, and Google. That can help get your Google Maps listing on the first page and keep it there. There are over 90 directories that you really should be listed in. When we do Google Places for somebody, of course we list them in 90 directories. Absolutely. It's really important that you do that. Number 8, monitor your listing regularly. You must do this monthly to avoid serious loss in revenue. This is a major reason why local businesses fail with online advertising. They say, I'll do it tomorrow, and then they wonder why their sales are down. If you don't have the discipline to make this a priority, you should think about using an affordable service to take care of it for you, like us or anybody else, but hopefully somebody who has experience in your industry. Local search should be your number 1 advertising priority. If you're already out there shaking hands and beating the pavement and networking with people, the only other thing that you should be doing is local search optimization. Absolutely every day you should be working on local search optimization. Even though listing your business in Google Maps and Google Mobile is free, doing it wrong or not monitoring regularly could cost you big time. And this is just some of the things to watch out for that we've noticed over time and that other people who do this in this industry have noticed. Well-intentioned smart business owners make this mistake all the time. They think that if their business shows up on Google Maps one time, or if currently you're number 1 on Google, that you'll always be there, and that is not the case. Google pulls information about your business from a wide variety of resources or sources, not just information you entered yourself, so things can change quickly. And I'll tell you, the other day I was online with some of my other geeky guru friends that do all this internet marketing stuff, and many of them, all at the same time, noticed that listings were being deleted in hordes off of Google Places. And the listings that were being deleted were the ones where people were using P.O. boxes and UPS mailing address suites in their Google Places pages. If you use a P.O. box or a UPS store with a suite number, you will be deleted. It is not, it's in their terms of service. They don't want that kind of listing because anybody can go out and get a P.O. box. They want brick and mortar locations. You can use an executive suite that is like a virtual office if you have one. There's other things you can do. And again, I mentioned using your own home if you want to, but you cannot use a P.O. box for this service. Here's how doing it yourself can go wrong. If you have multiple locations and you don't handle them the correct way, you could be labeled a map spammer by Google. And believe me, that is a headache you never want to deal with, because once you're deleted from Google, they have a million ways to track you, and it's very difficult to get back in there. Google could tweak one minor thing, and your listing could completely disappear off the rankings. And that is, I've seen that in the last 3 months happen several times. And would you know what to do about it, or how much revenue would you lose before you figured it out? You could easily fall behind your competitors' listings. And this says 2010, but also into 2011 is likely to see a rush to optimize these listings. This is big business right now, folks. Everybody in the internet marketing world is talking about Google Places and that it's replacing the yellow pages quicker than we could ever imagine. So this is not the only webinar you'll ever hear about how to generate leads for yourself using local search. This is probably one of many. And your competition is also on all of these webinars, and they are listening, and they're getting this done. So my recommendation to you would be to figure out a way to get your Google Places listing up and get it optimized really fast, because you don't want to fall behind. It makes sense to trust your local search strategy to a team that knows what they're doing and a team that works in your industry, a group who is on top of all the changes happening in the search industry and changes that almost happen daily. Someone who has experience in keyword research, search engine optimization, and general marketing, especially for reverse mortgages and for the seniors who are looking for reverse mortgages. Someone with the time to monitor your listings. We have a staff that takes care of that. Someone who can monitor your reviews and keep them positive and recent, and someone who can perform reputation management and keep any issues from cropping up across social media like Twitter, Facebook, or blogs. And we do have a system set up in our back end that monitors certain keyword searches. So we always know when what's showing up for certain keywords. This is an ongoing task, and it can't be done just once. So if you've considered a local search marketing company that is only submitting to directories, you're not likely to get the kind of return you're hoping for. I know for a fact that you can go to a place like ineedhits.com or somewhere like that, and for $9.95, they will submit you to all the local business listings and automatically and set up your Google Places page or submit you to Google or something like that. That will never, ever, ever in a million years do anything for you except suck $9.95 out of your wallet. It won't do a lick of nothing for you. So be careful about what you purchase. And a word of warning about Google. They are tricky. They constantly change things. They want to get rid of scammers. They want to get rid of bad guys. They want to get rid of all that. And that's good. We want them to get rid of people who are trying to game the system. But they've stacked the deck against everybody on purpose because only those who spend the time and energy and money to study and learn and follow the rules are rewarded with page 1 results. It is very difficult now to get on page 1 in a very competitive market. So only the folks out there who know what they're doing are actually getting those kinds of results. Okay, as far as what we do, and this is what you can do too for yourself if you like, you need to submit your business information to 90 directories, which will strengthen your presence on Google, perform careful keyword research to determine which categories best fit your business, and submit Google Maps and Google Mobile search listings. You need to change and or verify existing map listings with accurate information. Check your website to make sure listing matches the info on the site. So if you have a mini page or a mini site or something along that line, or you have a sub-page of your bank site, you need to make sure that the address listed is exactly the address that's in Google Places. Create a proper description that will best describe your business to your customers and to Google, and enhance your listing with additional details and information. Photos and videos are mandatory. If you do not have video, you are definitely selling yourself short. You'll never get the kind of placement you want. And you need coupons. Now, I realize that you cannot create coupons for reverse mortgages. I totally know that. I understand it. I get it. I know you cannot do that. But you can create a coupon that gives away a free, one of the free HUD guides, or anything. Normala has a bunch of stuff. You could give away free booklets or books on best reverse mortgages practices or information on reverse mortgages. You can give away free reports. You can give away videos. You can give away anything that is something that educates a consumer on the value or the advantages of using a reverse mortgage to solve their problem. So when I say coupons, I don't mean you're giving anybody a discount on anything. You just need to give away something that they can use to educate themselves. Monthly maintenance. For us, we provide monthly status reports, check your listing, monitor reviews, provide information on changes to Google Maps, and we make up to 5 changes per month on your listing, because you have to change out the photos, the videos, you have to change out the coupons, you have to keep the listing fresh. You actually have to log into it, make a few notations on it, and then move on. Without going there and freshening up your listing, you're going to fall behind your competition because they are definitely going to be having somebody go in there and do it. So as far as pricing goes, and I'm going to take questions here in just a second, and George is going to be joining us for questions and answers. Our Google Places program is a $447 setup fee, and it's $127 a month maintenance. We do all the things that are listed here, like claiming the page, the keyword research, the optimization, videos, placement and tagging, image placement and tagging, coupon management, detailed descriptions. We always make our listings 100% Google compliant. We build citations up to 90, which means we actually submit your business to 90 different directories. Ongoing content maintenance, monthly citation building, Google review assistance, and there are no long-term commitments, but it does take up to 3 or 4 months to see proper results in some areas. It really does. It depends on how far behind you are. If you're already on page 1, and you want to maintain that or keep that, it's still a good idea to do something like this with somebody, because if you don't, that your competition would just overwhelm you. There are only 7 spots left on the first page of Google. It's called the 7-pack. You need to be in that 7-pack. And there's a couple of other things I want to talk to you about too, and George will chime in on during questions and answers. If you don't have videos, you've never done videos, you've never had you've never had a television commercial done for you. A lot of people don't, but you should have video. We will do 5 custom videos for you, and we will do all the tagging and all the behind-the-scenes stuff that needs to be done with that video. We will set up your YouTube account and set up your channel for you. so your channel looks pretty and has all the bells and whistles and all that. So you can send anybody to it from your website. Your videos will be frequently asked questions about reverse mortgages. They'll be very standard fare. We don't go crazy and say stuff that we're not supposed to say. All the scripts can be compliance approved. It's not rocket science. You guys already know what the frequently asked questions are about reverse mortgages. But those are the things that your consumers do not know, and you need to have a nice suite of videos. There is no doubt about it. And that's probably the lowest you'll ever see people do videos for you. They all have stock footage in them. They're all professionally voiced over. They have music. They're gorgeous, and I'll show you one of those in a minute, too. We also have an ultimate marketing program. Now, like I said earlier, there are two sets of people on this call. There are people that cannot have a website or already have a good website, or you think that you have a good website. And there are people who need a very good website for themselves, and they need blogging, and they need search engine optimization, and they need social media, and they need lots of stuff. And this is the program that's the most popular for our folks. It includes everything. It includes all the videos, the Google Places program, the custom video distribution, includes a monthly branded newsletter, article marketing, weekly blogging, and everything. This is the whole enchilada, basically. So for those folks who want everything and they want it all done for them for their online presence, including a little micro website, sort of like the ones you saw with Sue Haviland and the other client of ours that we put up there, those are the websites. This is our most popular program, and what people, because it includes everything, this is usually what they do. So with that, I'm going to quickly go to a website to show you all. Let's type in, I'm going to do one that's probably not reverse mortgages, but it's just one I can pull up fast to show you. Now I want you to notice something. We are on a Google Places page. We just typed in Home Care Jacksonville. Let's try this. Let's do what we did before. Let's do reverse mortgage. Let's do San Diego. Because I can show you what we do all day long, but let's look at what somebody else does. This is the Google, the search that I did for you earlier, reverse mortgage San Diego, and you can see that all RMC is number one. This is not our client, but I just want you to show you their place page. So I'm going to click over here on place page, and you can see that they could even do more here. They only have one video and one photo. They need to do more, definitely. But you can see that they've filled in some information here. I am going to see if there's anything else that they have filled out. And they've barely even filled out their details page, yet they're doing very well. That should tell all of you who live in San Diego something very important. You could knock them off the map in a minute. So they have two reviews, which are very important, and they have lots of little citations down in here. Now let's look at one that we've done so you can see the difference and why our client will always be number one. This is our client. Oops, I want to go to more info. Okay, so if we look at this Places page, check it out. There's a ton of pictures. There are more videos. There are a total of 4 videos here. They're all different. Let's go back to the overview. You can see that she has a little blurb here. She has 2 reviews. If I click on more details, check this out. Look at all the detail that we put in there. And to you all, this might not seem like a lot of work, but I guarantee you that behind the scenes, this is a ton of work. She's got a couple of coupons here. And same rules apply with home care that apply to reverse mortgages. She doesn't necessarily ever want to have a sale or a discount on her hours or her services. So she's giving away 2 things here. She's got some reviews, and then down here below, she's got some citations that about her. It's her website that we did for her, and then her main corporate website. So this is a lot of work behind the scenes, and every single week I go in and make sure that she has a new little blippy blurby, something about that links right back to her website. So if I click on that, we go right back to her website and right back to her, her blog. And you can see the videos here. I play one for you, but you're not going to be able to see them or hear them, so I'm not going to really do that. If you want to see videos, you can go to, you can write this down, youtube.com/videoltc. This is our custom YouTube page, and you can go on here and watch any of the videos that are over here. You can go back and look at any of them so you can see what our videos look like. They're fantastic. Okay, so that is that. Let's see here. Oh, bonuses and options. I didn't talk about that. Current slide. We will include your businesses in our state and national Google My Maps listings as they are developed, and this is some techie geek stuff, but the more Google My Maps you are located on, the higher in the food chain your listing will be. So that's definitely an important thing. And optional, we can help you with it, but you can add on the Google Places tags. It'll cost you $25 a month. That's a bill from Google, or it goes, I guess, your credit card's billed by Google, not by us. Right now, I think they still offer the first 30 days for free, so you can try it out. It doesn't guarantee you first page placement. It just puts a little pink tag on your Google Places page. The next steps are to take action on your Google local search strategy. Call George, my partner, and he can answer questions and let you know if our services are right for your business. And there's the number, 888-404-1513. And you can become an unbeatable force on the first page of Google. I guarantee you that if you do that, that will generate more calls for you than it will for your competition. And if you fail to take action on Google Places, I guarantee you that your competition will reap the benefits of being on the top of the search engines for their Google Places page. Okay, so questions and answers. At the beginning, I asked you to type in your questions so that we could answer them. So if you want to go ahead and do that in the question section, type in some questions and we'll go down, go through and answer them for you. Hold on here. Let's see. Hold on, and I will make this pop out so we can see questions. There might not be very many, or there might be several. Oh, yep, there are lots. Okay. No, Greg, you can't listen on your computer now that the webinar is over. You have to dial in. It says that on your invitation. If everyone starts doing these kinds of things, how will I be different and get more business? If companies are already using services like yours and already at the top of Google, how can I get there? Will I always be behind them now? No, Eric, if you go ahead and get started and get it done and make sure that you've hired someone that understands your business and understands the ins and outs of local search, you will find yourself on the top of that slot. So now is the time to get involved. Yes, people are hiring other companies, but there are, as I was doing the searches and I was looking at reverse mortgages San Diego, reverse mortgage San Diego, there are a lot of businesses on reverse mortgage San Diego that haven't claimed their listing yet. They're that crazy that they have not claimed their listing. So if whatever service, whatever area you're in, you can get it up and running and be on the top of that search engine result pretty quickly. And we just looked at all RMCs there, and I have lots of suggestions for them. They need to do a whole lot more if they're going to keep that position. Maybe they hired somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. But if they want to keep that position, they got to put a lot more stuff in there, because guess what? The person in San Diego who hires us to do it is going to bump all RMC down the chain. So that's those are the kinds of things that you have to watch for. Now is the time to get involved. If you wait until the end of 2011, it will be much more expensive and much more difficult to be in that top section of the 7-pack. So if you want to expand your presence into more than one spot, is there a way to expand your presence to other places if you do not have a brick and mortar in more than one place? Okay, good question. So I harped on the fact that you cannot use P.O. boxes. Let's say, and I'm not in San Diego, but I just use San Diego as an example because I know it's very competitive and I know it's a big marketplace. So let's say that you're in San Diego County and you have You serve the entire county, but you know where those seniors are. And you definitely wish you had an office in each of those locations. But there's no way you're going to be able to do that. First of all, you're not going to pay rent somewhere. And second of all, you don't need 3 offices. You need to work from your house, or you need to work from one office. So what you do is you can go out and get an executive suite, which is a virtual office that has a local phone number. Do not ever use a toll-free phone number on your Google Places page. It can be your secondary phone number, but it cannot be your primary number. So you must use a local number. So go out and get yourself a virtual suite, and you can just type in virtual offices San Diego or whatever city you live in, and I'm sure there's a provider there. HQ or HP or HQ, I can't remember what it is a provider. And there's a couple of them out there that are kind of nationwide, and they're in the bigger cities. And that, to me, is the only way that you can get a listing in a secondary area, unless you have a business partner who's willing to list their business. Okay, so how long has Sue Haviland's site been up, and what is her site producing monthly in terms of qualified leads? Heather, her site's probably been up a little over a year, and I do not know how much it provides in the way of qualified leads. That's not the business we're in with Sue. So, and we're not really in business with Sue, but that's not something that I keep track of based on her, results. I don't know what you'd have to ask Sue what that is, what that number is. I have no idea. But I do know that that she's much happier being the first person that people see on the first page of Google than not at all. So that is definitely important to remember, that it's much better that way. I am in New York City, probably one of the busiest for reverse mortgages. Can I realistically be competitive on Google with some of the big players like Wells, BOA, etc.? Yes, you can, because if you can be in the top 7, I think you can do that. It depends on a whole lot of things, Barry. I would definitely, it'd probably be more of a one-on-one conversation to find out more about your business and more about what kind of office structure you have and what kind of limitations or not limitations. It would probably take a lot more than just a Google Places page, depending on what you already have set up to get you there, but certainly it's possible. George, I haven't really asked you to answer any questions, but you certainly are welcome to. Is there? Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I think when I'm talking to a lot of companies now, and they are trying to figure out how to expand their brick and mortar kind of presence, and that is an important question. One other opportunity you have, besides traditional these virtual offices, is to even sublet a desk in somebody else's professional office, which can be low cost, and that'll give you a place to receive mail and a phone number at a low cost, much lower cost than any kind of real office. That's one idea that a number of people are pursuing.
Yeah, that's if there's an elder law attorney or a real estate agent or someone else that wouldn't mind subletting you a little bit of office space, and they already have somebody in their office answering the phone. You could get a local number that just forwards right to their line or to you. You could use a cell phone number as long as it's a local number. As long as you're doing that and you have an actual brick and mortar address, then you're fine. You have to be able to receive mail there because Google is going to send you a postcard in the mail. You must be able to go and pick up mail at that address. So don't do it without telling somebody first. Does anybody else have any questions? The last one I see here is, can I get a copy of this PowerPoint presentation after the webinar is over? And the answer is no. We will send out the replay video to anyone who wants it. Actually, we send it out to everybody anyway, but we don't give out our PowerPoint presentation. Sorry. Anybody else have questions about the presentation, about your local presence, anything else that we can answer for you before we get off the line here? Let's see. I don't see any other questions. Is that it? I'll give you a couple seconds to type it in. I think that's it, George. Any final comments? Anything else?
Well, just call in if you'd like to talk about your individual situations, either your market segment, geography, or your current capability online. I'd be glad to talk with you.
I think, yeah, absolutely. And there's the phone number, the website, and George's email address direct to George. I want to be out there getting calls. I might know one person. I think this. I might have missed this question. I'm not sure how it just filtered in there. I am in San Diego and want to be up there getting the calls. I am one person. Is that doable? Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're one person or if you have 15 people working in your office. It's absolutely doable. You have to outsource some things, and you have to, let people do some work for you. You can't be everything to everybody, but absolutely it's possible for you to be number 1 or number 3 or whatever on the first page of Google. You have to do it right, though, and you have to, do it with a group that knows what they're doing. And in San Diego, that's a pretty competitive spot, so just, do it the right way the first time, and you'll get good results, even if you're just one person. Does anybody else have any questions? Oh, do you have more than one RMC advertising in the same city? Do I have more than one reverse mortgage consultant advertising in the same city? No, but we do have a lot of experience with that because our primary forte is home care, assisted living. We also do some programs like this for long-term care insurance. And oftentimes, especially in the more competitive markets, we will have the same folks in the same city, and we limit that. Now, we do not ever guarantee territory exclusivity. That would be crazy on our part as a small business, but what we do know is that we can only put so many people in the same spot. We only have 7 spots, right, on the first page of Google. We limit ourselves because if we took too many people in the same geography, we'd be doing ourselves a huge disservice as a business. So, George, you can answer that a little better than I can, I think.
Well, certainly in the reverse mortgage market, we don't have any overlap at all right now. And in even in our intense market like home care, which is the largest market for us, some of these metropolitan areas are huge with millions of people, and we usually can sustain a few, 2 or 3 companies without doing any kind of saturation. So we haven't run into that problem at all.
Yep, reverse mortgage market, we have not run into that, but we will take more than one person in a city as long as the city can sustain it, as long as the population can sustain it. For instance, in Chicago, we can take more than one person because there's enough population there to sustain more than one person. So it's not about, Rochelle, it's not necessarily about getting the number 1 spot. It's about getting one of the top 7 spots. Yes, you want to be number 1, but you definitely need to be in that 7-pack or no one's ever going to find you. So if you want to see how truly competitive this can be, one of the best ways to see that in action with hundreds and hundreds of reviews and just craziness going on is to type in, and you could do this for any major city. New York would be a great example, and so would Chicago. If you type in seafood restaurant Chicago or seafood Chicago or something like that, you will see the top 7 or seven restaurants, and each and every one of them has hired a service to help them with Google Places, and they are managing hundreds and almost, in one case, over 1,000 reviews. So if you want to see how competitive it can potentially get, and I wouldn't expect that for the reverse mortgage market to get that crazy, but that is how crazy it can be. So there's definitely some tricks to the trade that good Google Places managers know, and that's a good example of what you have to know in order to get your client the right spot. Does anybody have any more questions? And then we're going to close her down. Any more questions? Quickly. I think that might be all. Well, thanks, everybody, for your time today. Please call us and let us know how we can help you. If you have any questions at all, you're not sure, you want to go over pricing, you want to know more about what we do, just call 888-404-1513 or visit ltcsocialmark.com. You can go there. Pricing is not listed on our website, and that's on purpose. You need to email George or you need to give us a call to discuss that. Thank you, everybody, and we'll talk again in another webinar. Hopefully we'll do one of these on a regular basis just for those of you in the reverse mortgage market. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye.